RK's Guyana Free Media presents for human development and national development this message.
Dearest friends and family, your brother, me, Haji, Dr. Roshan Khan, presents Part 72, Episode 72 of RK's Guyana Free Media, and we are on an action trail with Freddie Kissoon, riding the white stallion of glory and honesty and decency to lead the verbal revolution of righteousness and goodness, to bring down an evil regime and to bring in the rights and the will of the people as cast in their franchise in elections 2020. And sadly, this is the elections 2020, the absolute Guyana madness. The hot question at this moment is what type of attacks we will see on the Secretary General of CARICOM. This is taken from the Kaieteur News, Sunday, July 5th, 2020. The General Secretary isn't going to let Granger dirty CARICOM, by Freddie Kissoon. Picture of Freddie Kissoon. Salutations. Irfan Ali, brother, Assalamu alaikum, namaste, peace and blessings. This man needs a national award. Whether he speaks against you, he is not speaking against you, but he's teaching you. Teaching politicians what people hate him because he teach them. Another great warrior of Guyana is Mr. Christopher Ram. Can I have Christopher Ram's photograph up there, please? Brother Chris, I salute you. God bless you, man. Wonderful warrior for peace and righteousness for Guyana. Question. Freddie Kissoon says the hot question at this moment is what type of attacks we will see on the Secretary General of CARICOM, Mr. Erwin Larocque. Remember, mere Motley, a commentary, what they have done to her and her honour, but she does cares not. When you say nasty things about people, the nastiness returns to you. And now Erwin Larocque speaks, General Secretary, man of honour and dignity. We are waiting to see what they will want to do with him. Anybody that critique them, they hire somebody to, or bribe them with something to counter it, albeit in mere total assassinity. Ludicrous presentations, petty and childish. Now what we'll do with a gentleman of the caliber of Erwin Larocque, General Secretary, over the CARICOM. His adumbration on Friday was a diplomatic response to the crude dissertation of David Granger on the CARICOM recount team. Let us look at the sequence, he says. So, pay attention. According to Freddie Kissoon, Granger said he accepts Lowenfeld's submission. He explained his endorsement of the numbers Lowenfeld cited by referring to several observations of the CARICOM recount team about fraudulent occurrences on voting day. This was a deliberate act of misleading by Granger. The CARICOM recount team using pellucid. Those who don't understand, it means clear. Using pellucid or clear language and unambiguous pronouncement. Unambiguous means it's not confusing to the mind for those who do not understand the meaning. Unambiguous pronouncements or announcements concluded, ended then, in other words, that the 2020 election voting was a valid process that reflected the desire and the will of the Guyanese people. You have to be an immoral creature to use the recount team's report to reject the results of the 2020 election. This is not significantly possible. I repeat, this is not scientifically possible, I beg your pardon. The equivalent example is saying that the Black Lives Matter movement began in Russia and not the US. He's giving you an analogy. But Granger, President Granger, please, is still president. But Granger, in what can only be termed ignorance or dishonesty of Lowenfield, and using the recon team's submission to justify as his reason for embarking on ugly autocratic bullyism, in steps the General Secretary of CARICOM. As a high-level, prestigious international public servant, diplomacy is all you can expect and will receive from Mr. LaRocque. Commentary. I hope they don't try to affect or destroy this man. But then the world knows what's going on. So they can't affect him. They might try to affect him. Like what they're trying to do with Rav Gonzalez and Mia Motley and others. Using simple language devoid of any direct references to anyone, without identification of specific persons, he modestly told the world that he has confidence in the CARICOM's recon team's work. Explanation? He says he has absolute respect and accept, and it has his confidence, the work that was done by the CARICOM recon team. So do I. For I was an observer, ladies and gentlemen, and I was there. And I saw these wonderful people in action, doing a superhuman piece of job for long hours daily, every day, friends and families. Here are his words according to Freddie Kissoon. Back to the article. I have every emphasis. I have every confidence, emphasis mine, Freddie Kissoon says, in the work they produce. The key word here is every. In the article, he enhanced the word like about an inch big. The key word here is every. E-V-E-R-Y. So I'm going to ask my operator to put it up here. The key word here is every. E-V-E-R-Y. It has multidimensional overtones and is filled with clarity. By using the word every, it means that he has placed emphatic value on what the team has concluded. Emphatic means loud, excited, absolute, strong value on what the team has produced. It is emphasized or enhanced or more full with power. And what the team has concluded, contrast the statement with this one. I have confidence in the work they produced. This latter statement, the last one, contains a weak acceptance and lacks expansive, definitive assertion. It can carry a loose interpretation. My contestation is that the SG determined that by the use of the word every, he has accepted with psychological surety all his mental faculties, the report the team has submitted to him. But Freddie says here further, listen, please pay attention. But there is another angle involved in the LaRocque position. It involves professional ethics and professional dignity. LaRocque was just not a participant observer to the Motley Granger Jagdeo rendezvous. I repeat, LaRocque was not just a participant observer to the Motley Granger Jagdeo rendezvous. The meeting, rendezvous means a meeting place. So he wasn't just sitting down and watching. He was not just a witness. He was not just a bureaucrat standing behind the signatories like a security rank. You know, I gotta really love this guy, Freddie Kissoon, and the power of his words, man. He is the Secretary General of CARICOM. Thereby, he is the legal guardian of the confabulatory covenants that CARICOM embarks on. His legal knowledge has to be imprinted on the decisions CARICOM made. Freddie is showing us an explanation, the power of this man, his personality and his presence. So when the Motley Granger Jagdeo détente meeting was being shaped, détente, a peaceful meeting of goodness for good purposes to be achieved, détente. back to the article. He was the crucial factor in that he had to tell the CARICOM chairwoman whether she had legal coverage to engage in such a process. In turn, the chairwoman would have asked him to use his office to legalize the process and determine the shape of the team's work. There isn't need for a doctorate to educate you into the reason why the SG, the Secretary General, endorsed the work of the RECON group. Because it was his RECON group. He was responsible for their conduct and was their guardian in a hostile environment. So people believe Mia Mottley was responsible. Sorry, she's only a temporary chair of CARICOM. He's the Secretary General. And they're his people. And his honor and dignity and name lies with that group. And his supervision and management. I repeat, from Freddie Kissoon, ladies and gentlemen, he was responsible for their conduct and was the guardian in a hostile environment. Logically, they submitted the final document to him. It didn't go to anyone else. It went to him. Then he has to pass it on to whomsoever should get it. Now put yourself back to Freddie Kissoon. Now put yourself in LaRock's shoes when he heard Granger accepting the Frankenstein, raising from the dead. You know, it means Frankenstein is the man who raised from the dead. Frankenstein edifice of Lowenfield cited CARICOM team as a justification. LaRock had no opinion. I beg your pardon. LaRock had no option but to protect the credibility of himself, the RECON group, and the CARICOM itself. Granger was telling the world that Lowenfield's tabulation is a valid one because it has determined by the contents of the RECON's teamwork. LaRock knew this was distortion because the tabulation of the RECON team and Lowenfield's numbers are as opposite as negative and positive neutrons. Lowenfield and LaRock, their presentations are like positive and negative neutrons. Granger had dug himself deeper in the hole of the devil engineered for him. I repeat, Granger had dug himself deeper in the hole the devil engineered for him. How is he going to get out of the LaRock picture? Let us see Erwin LaRock photograph up here. The Secretary General of CARICOM, an absolute gentleman and a scholar. Look at that personality, ladies and gentlemen, and bow in respect to an amazing, scholarly, international diplomat. Through LaRock's emanation, CARICOM is of the belief that APNU and AFC was not the winner of the election. And then suddenly something happens. It's like when something comes from the grave Frankenstein. And they get up. And now a bigger one. The father of Frankenstein. And of the dead of Dracula. My viewpoint. And now back to Freddie Kissoon. Enter Joe Harmon. As APNU and AFC's campaign manager, he has been lashing out wildly at every prominent global personality who accuse him of rigging. I read that again. Slowly. Enter Joe Harmon. As APNU and AFC's campaign manager, he has been lashing out wildly at every prominent global personality who accuse him of rigging. Nicknamed Joe Shanlin and Lil Joe by the satirical column Them Boys Say in Kaieteur News, and by me as Jalebi after the Hindu sweet cake for his employment of the American PR for JJ and B. Harmon will have to invent another scatological vocabulary to paint LaRock with, of course, only to make himself a clown for the umpteenth time, says, ladies and gentlemen, the words of Freddie Kissoon. And talking about jalebi, I feel like eating a jalebi now. When I finish here, Haq's Halal makes the best jalebi and fudge and mitai in this country, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give them some free advertisements. Haqs Halal. They have a snack down there and they make the best jalebi. I'm going to send for some shortly. So, ladies and gentlemen, salutations to Laroque. One more, the photograph one time more of Mr. Laroque. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of the Guyanese people for trying to help to save our sanity and ourselves from destruction and from they who will want to take the entire nation for their family and friends for perpetual wealth as if they will live forever, forgetting that they have to go in the earth and turn mud. Friends and family, me, your friend, your brother, Haji, Dr. Roshan Khan saying thank you for tuning in to this, the RK's Guyana Free Media, Part 72, Episode 72, and check for all the other episodes, RK's Guyana Free Media on YouTube, and on Facebook, RK's Guyana Free Media. Until next time, farewell, friends. Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings of God be with the nation Guyana. Save us, O Lord, from destruction and perdition at the hands of the cabal, who wish to destroy and suck our blood out, and the juice and the wealth of our country for their friends and their families. Oh, beautiful Guyana, let's play the music.
Atlantic blown into a fury, or asleep. At morn, at noon, or better in the crimson sunset's glow.